Today I'm going to be showing you how to crochet this really fun Colourwork hexagon where you carry the yarn with you, leaving you just 4 ends to weave in for this entire motif. When joined together, they create this really fun fabric with stars and circles. Now this looks super complicated, but I can assure you it's not. It is just some fancy colour work. All you need is 2 contrasting yarn shades and a little bit of time and patience. Once you've got the first one down and you see how easy it is to actually work up, the next motif you make will be vastly quicker. So this is going to be quite a big tutorial, so I can talk you really clearly through each row. So let's leap straight on in. To begin, make a magic circle and then chain 3. 1, 2, 3. These 3 chains count as your very first double crochet. Now work a double crochet into the magic ring, then chain 1. 2 double crochet back into that ring. So that's 1 and 2. Then chain 1. Again, work 2 double crochet back into the magic ring. That's 1, 2, and then chain 1. Now we're making a hexagon, so we need 6 of these groups of 2. So 3 more times. I'm going to work 2 double crochet into the ring. 1, 2, and then chain 1. 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of 2 double crochets. 2 more times. 2 double crochet into the ring. Chain 1. And 2 double crochet into that magic ring, followed by a chain 1. So you should have 6 sets of 2 double crochets with a chain 1 space in between them all. To end this first round, we're going to slip stitch to join to the top of these 3 chains that you made right in the very beginning. So find the top of these chains, so 1, 2, 3, and I'm just going to pop my hook into the top of them, and then I'm going to do a slip stitch. Now you can go ahead and tighten up that magic ring at the back. Now grab your next colour. You can drop this pink, and leaving a nice long tail, you're just going to draw a loop of the new colour over your hook and pull it through the loop that is on your hook. Now you can pull the pink tail to snug it down a little bit. And as we work, I'm going to crochet over this white tail, the end of it, and the pink yarn that is still attached to our hexagon. I'm going to work over both of those. There will come a point where I run out of white tail to work over, but continue to work over the pink. We need to take it with us as we work this next round. So to begin round 2, find the chain 1 space before the slip stitch. So you've got your 3 chains here and that chain 1 space before it. That is where we're going to be working our first 2 stitches. So for our very first stitch, we're going to create a stacked double crochet. This is how we're going to start every single round. So I'm just going to, with my hook, reach back into that chain 1 space and put my hook in through there. So it's out the back. Then I'm going to grab the working yarn, which is the yarn attached to the ball, and I'm going to pull it through to the front. So I'll have 2 loops on my hook. Then yarn over and draw through both those loops, creating a single crochet. Now I'm going to create another single crochet on top of this, and I'm going to do that by working into this very first front bar of this single crochet that we just made. So if you look, you've got 2 little legs of your single crochet, and I'm going to put my hook underneath this one that's at the front. So just put your hook underneath it, grab the yarn, pull it through, 2 loops on your hook, then yarn over and draw through those 2. So we've made a stacked double crochet stitch there. So it's the height and bulk of a normal double crochet. Now working back into that same chain 1 space, work 1 double crochet stitch. Now that is the first half of our corner, and we're not going to finish it until we have come all the way back around. So we're going to be working into the chain 1 spaces in between your sets of 2 double crochet from the row below, remembering to work over your pink yarn, carrying it with you, and this white tail, just so that saves a bit of weaving in. Find your next chain 1 space. So it'll be your chain 3, your double crochet, and then a chain 1 space. And into that chain 1 space, we're going to work 2 double crochet. That's 1. That's 2. Chain 1 and work 2 more double crochets back into that same spot. So we have 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets. We are bringing these strands with us. I'm just crocheting over them at the back. So I'm just sandwiching them in as I go. Now find the next chain 1 space. So skip 2 double crochet, and there is your chain 1 space. And we're going to repeat this again. So straight into that chain 1 space, 2 double crochet, chain 1, and 2 double crochet back into that same chain 1 space. Find the next chain 1 space, and we're repeating the exact same thing. 2 double crochet, chain 1, and 2 double crochet. So we're just forming corners into each of these 6 chain 1 spaces from row 1. Find the next chain 1 space and create a new corner. 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet, all into the same chain 1 space. So you can see we're carrying these yarns with us. I'm probably just going to go ahead and drop the white tail now, but I'm going to keep working over the pink. So into the next chain 1 space, same again, 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet. So you've got 5 complete corners, and then just 2 double crochet from right where we first started. So we need to finish off this corner. So working into the same chain 1 space that we started in, work 2 double crochet, remembering to bring the pink with you. So we're crocheting over it at the back. Then chain 1 and find the top of that stacked double crochet that we made. So you can clearly identify your first double crochet that you made, and just behind that, they're slightly smaller, but you'll spot the little V of that stacked stitch that we did right in the beginning. So under those 2 loops, work a slip stitch. Now for round 3 onwards is where we start doing the colour work mid-row. So we've ended on a white. We need to bring that pink up so we can start with pink for row 3. So the way we do that is we've crocheted over the pink tail, so it's come all the way around with us, and then you're simply going to just lift it up, put it over your hook, and pull that through the loop on your hook. Like so. Pull the white one to snug it down, And then just as we did for the beginning of this white row, we're going to start by working into this chain 1 space behind you. We're going to start with that stack stitch. Now you can see that little pink tail. If you don't grab it with the next 2 stitches that we do, don't worry, because we can grab it with the last 2 stitches that we do. So either way, don't worry about this little pink strand. It will be hidden as we work around. So just as before, and how we're going to start every single row, reach back into that chain 1 space. I'm pulling with my fingernail that yarn strand, but as I say, if you can't grab it when you come round the first way, when we finish it, you can grab it then. But back into that chain 1 space, reach your hook in, grab the pink yarn that's waiting for you at the back, bring it to the front, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through both loops. That's a single crochet made. Now we're going to stack another one on top. So go under this very front leg with your hook, yarn over and pull it through, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through those 2 loops to complete the stitch. Now we're going to be working back into this chain 1 space. We're going to be making a double crochet, but we're also going to be changing colour in that stitch. So begin your double crochet as normal, yarn over, go into the chain 1 space, draw up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through the first 2, and then stop. Now drop your pink yarn and pick up the white. Yarn over and pull that white through those 2 loops. Now at the back here, you can pull the pink one slightly to get those loops a bit neater, but you don't want to pull things too tightly and distort your stitches. So now we have the white ready to begin a side section of our hexagon, but we're going to be bringing the pink with us. Whichever colour you are not currently working with, we will crochet over at the back. So just like we did on the last round, this pink one and this white strand are going to come with us, working over both of them as we go around. So I hang on to the pink one at the back so I can sandwich over it, and in between your sets of 2 double crochet, we're going to work 2 double crochet. So right into the space, you'll have to create one, there's no chain space, but in between those sets of 2 double crochets, we're going to work 2 double crochets to form a side, but we are going to change colour on the second stitch. So complete 1 double crochet using white, and then for our second double crochet, we're going to switch back to the pink. So again, start your double crochet, but before you finish it and you have 2 loops left on your hook, drop the white. I like to bring the white to the front and keep the pink at the back. That just stops your yarns from twisting around each other. Draw the pink onto your hook and through those last 2 loops. Now we're going to work over the white strand, so hold that one to the back, and we're at a chain 1 space. Now the chain 1 space is where we're going to form our new corner. So we're going to do it all in pink, 2 double crochet in pink, 1, 2, chain 1, and work 2 more double crochets, but we're going to change back to the white on the second double crochet. So work 1 in pink, and the last one, change colour. So we change colour before the final yarn over and pull through 2. I'm going to drop the pink, pick up the white, and pull that through. Now we're on a side section, so we're going to be working our side in between the sets of 2 double crochets. So here and here, there's the side. There's no chain 1 space, we've just got to force it into the middle. We want 2 double crochets, 1 in white, and 1 where we switch back to pink. So as we go, we are bringing these 2 strands of yarn with us, so they're always ready. We're crocheting over them as we go. So the next space we have to work into is a chain 1 space. That means we form a corner. So always work a corner into your chain 1 spaces, and your corner is 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet, but on that very last stitch we change back to white. So 2 double crochet in pink, chain 1, 1 double crochet in pink, and then the final double crochet we switch back to the white. So our corners are in pink, our sides are in white, and we are changing colour on the last stitch of the corners and the sides. So we're going to work this around. Your side section in between the sets of 2 double crochet, there is no chain 1 space, so you have to just create a space by identifying that little small hole and work 1 double crochet in white and change colour back to pink on the second. Always carrying these yarns with you along the back. Then we're going to hit a chain 1 space. So into the chain 1 space we work a corner. So 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet, but change back to white on that last stitch. Then we work a side, which is 1 double crochet in white, and then change colour on the second double crochet. Next spot is a chain 1 space, so you got it, it's a corner, so 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet, and change colour on that very last stitch. We're going to keep doing this as we work our way around. Crocheting over whichever colour we're not currently working with. So the side is 2 double crochet, and we change colour on the second. And then we hit a chain 1 space, so create a corner, which is 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet, and change colour on the last stitch. Then we have a side, which again 2 double crochet, but change colour on the last of those 2 double crochets. And then we're right back to where we started, which are these 2 stitches worked into the space behind. So right at the beginning of the round, we've got half a corner. We need to finish it off. So to finish it off, we work 2 double crochets into that same chain 1 spot. Now, if you hadn't grabbed that strand of yarn like I managed to with your first 2 stitches, now you can grab it with your last 2 stitches. Or do both like I'm doing now. So that's 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, chain 1, and slip stitch to the top of your stacked stitch, that very first one we made. So it's a little bit tighter, that first stitch, so it's a tiny bit smaller. So that is round 3 complete. You should have pink corner sections and white side sections. Now for round 4, we're going to be doing the opposite. So drop the pink, bring your white up from the row below, pop it over your hook, draw it through that loop, pull that loop down, and just like we do for the beginning of each round, into that chain 1 space behind where you just slip stitched, we're going to work that stack stitch first. So just pop your hook in, grab the yarn at the back, create a single crochet, then into the front leg of that same stitch, work another single crochet, and then work one more double crochet back into that chain one spot, but we're going to change color on this one. So before I complete that second stitch of round 4, I'm going to drop the white, bring the pink up to finish that stitch. Now we're going to be working the side sections, and the side sections will be worked on either side of this white side from the row below. So in here and in here. So your very first side section, remember to take the yarn with you because we're going to be working over it. So take the white with you. To that very first side section, we're going to need 2 pink double crochets. So find the gap in between the pink and the white and work 2 pink double crochets for your first side section. And then move across to the other side. So here before this corner, and work 2 more double crochets, but change color on the last one. So work 1 pink, and then for your second pink, change color. Then your next spot is a chain 1 space, so it's a corner. So in white, work 2 double crochet, 1, 2, chain 1, 2 double crochet, and change color on that last stitch. So on my second or final, I should say, double crochet of this corner, change back to pink. So for this round, we're going to have white corners and 2 pink side sections. So onto the sides, work 2 pink without changing color. Remember to always be bringing that yarn with you. So 2 pink for my first side, and then 1 pink, and then for that second stitch, change color back to white. Then we're at a corner, so your chain 1 space, work your corner, 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet, and change color on that last stitch. So we're going to repeat this all the way around. White corners, 2 pink side sections. So 2 pinks for your first side section. And then your second side section, we work a pink, and then the final stitch, change color back to white. Then for the corners, 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet, and change color on that last stitch. So keep repeating this round. So 1, 2, then I will meet you on this third side where we work back round to where we first started. So I've just finished my last full corner. So I've come around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides. And now I just have my 2 sides to work before I'm back to the beginning of the round. So just as you have been doing, we're going to have 2 in pink, and then the last two, change colour on that very last stitch. Now we're right back to the very beginning. So to end this fourth round, we're going to work 2 white double crochets into that very same chain 1 space that we started, chain 1, and slip stitch to the top of the stacked stitch that we started with. Now for the 5th and final round, we're going to do what we've done at the start each time, which is bring up your new colour, draw it through that loop on your hook, pull the current colour down to snug it into place, then into the chain 1 space behind where you slip stitched, work your stacked double crochet, either catching that yarn or leaving it until the end. Don't worry too much about this little one. I'm going to leave it to the end this time. So I'm going to work my single crochet and then my second stacked single crochet on top, and then work 1 more double crochet but change colour on that one. Now for the sides, we're going to do white, pink, white. So we have 3 side sections to make now, and we're going to change colour on each one. So the very first one, in white, after the corner, so you've got your 2 white double crochets of your corner from the row below. So in between that white one and this pink one, we're going to work a side section. So work 1 double crochet in white, and then on the second one, change colour back to pink. Now in between your 2 pink sides from the row below, we're going to work 1 pink one, but we're going to change colour on the last stitch. So 1 in pink, and then the second one we change colour back to white. Now for the third side, we're doing it after this pink one and before the white corner. So in here, work 1 full white stitch, and then the second one we change colour back to the pink. Then we're at the chain 1 space, so we work a pink corner, changing back to white on the very last stitch. So your corner is 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet. On that very last double crochet of your corner, change back to white. So there's a lot of colour changes on this 5th round, but it is the final round. So the pain is almost over. So we have pink corners and then white, pink, white for your side sections. So again, the next side section, we start with a white one. So 2 double crochets in white, changing colour to pink on that second one. So we have 1 white side section. Then in between your 2 pinks from the row below, work a pink side section, changing back to white on the second stitch. Then for the final side section, before this corner, so after your 2 pinks from the row below and before the white corner, we're going to work another side in white, but change colour. So it's 1, 2, and changing colour on that second stitch back to pink. Then you're at your chain 1 space where you form your new corner. We're doing it all in pink and changing back to white on the very last of those 4 stitches. So it's the first 2, chain 1, that's the third, and on this 4th one, that's when I change back to white. Pink corners, white, pink, white. Pink corner, white, pink, white. We're going to work this all the way around. And then meet me here on your final side. So a white side, changing back to pink. Then a pink side, changing back to white. Then a white side, changing back to pink. And then a pink corner, changing back to white. So I'm working my very final side, switching back to pink, and we're right back to where we started. Now, just as before, we need to finish this first pink corner that we started. So working into that very same chain one space, I'm going to work in between and push that little carried up strand against the stitches from the row below. Work 2 double crochets, all in pink, chain 1, and then slip stitch to join to the top of that stack stitch. Now, because that is our motif finished, we're going to do an additional chain 1 in pink, and then we can cut our yarn. You can cut the white and the pink, leaving ends to weave in. Pull that pink one up through and tight, and then with your hook from the back of the work, pop it underneath that second double crochet, wrap it around and pull it through to the back. Now you have 4 ends to weave in. So you have the end from your magic circle that you want to weave in, and how we weave in a magic circle is just in the direction that your tail is going, around in the direction you worked in, underneath the base of those stitches. So weave it in and around. Then you can trim off that magic ring tail. Now this first white tail, we actually crocheted over that for quite a long way around. If you want for a bit of additional security, you can just weave in whatever remains of that tail you have. Go miss that first loop, go over that one, and then under the rest. And you can run it up a couple of stitches or whatever. You probably won't have a very long tail to play with, so you just want to tuck that one in and out of the way. Then you can trim off that one. And then the 2 tails, I've got the pink one here. I'm just going to thread onto my needle and run back down and along a few of the pink stitches. You can then trim that one off once it's securely woven in, and then you just have your white tail do exactly the same thing. And then your motif is complete. So when it comes to joining your motifs, you have a few options. You can either sew them together or crochet them together at the back of the work, or you can do what I did on mine, which is a tight join as you go. It gives this very, very pretty, subtle corded edge, which doesn't interrupt the flow of the pattern that this forms once it is joined. Now, as for the back of the work, you can see this is how the floated yarn looks. It looks a little bit jarring on just one motif when you make your first one. But if I show you the back of this larger piece where I've joined several of them together, let's flip this one over. You can see that actually it's quite pretty, I think. It's almost like a little stabby spiked effect. I mean, I really like it. I'm not in the least bit phased by these little carried up pieces of yarn. Obviously, if you are and it really bothers you, you are free, of course, to cut the yarn and weave in every single time you change colour. If you don't want to carry the yarn around and float it up as we have, of course, you can just trim your yarn every time you change colour and bring in a new colour. But my gosh, the ends you will have to sew in will be a lot. It will be a lot. So this way you get a really nice colourwork motif with only 4 ends to weave in. It's nice and quick. I don't object to how the back looks. If you do, then perhaps that method isn't for you. But to be honest, the time it saves, I was able to knock up this large sample very, very quickly indeed. And when it's all joined, as you can see, it gives a really cool effect of little star and then circles wherever it's joined. I'm a big fan. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please do let me know what you think of this hexagon down in the comments section below. And until next time, happy crocheting. Bye!